Hi, this is Mrs. Often, and I'm here to show you about synthetic division. In synthetic division, we divide a polynomial by a monic binomial, generally. There's possibilities to divide with synthetic division by a non-monic polynomial, that is one where the coefficient a is not equal to 1. But this video is going to focus on the situation in which we divide by a monic polynomial, or a monic binomial. So I'm going to start out by first obtaining what I am going to use in my synthetic division. And so that very first step is going to be taking this monic binomial and setting it equal to 0. So x equals -3. Okay, that is the number that is going to go outside of my synthetic division box. Now, synthetic division looks kind of strange, but it's much easier when you get used to it, and it's a very fast way of dividing any polynomial, again, by a monic binomial. So I'm going to fill in my coefficients of my original polynomial, remembering, of course, that I have the unwritten 0x term here, and then there's my constant coefficient. So the process of synthetic division is to start by bringing down the coefficient of your very first term, and then we're going to go through a multiply and add down the column, multiply and add down the column repeatedly. So once you get the hang of this, it is super quick to do. So I have my first step, bring down that 9. And I have 9 times -3, that is -27. Add down the column, I get -12. -12 times -3 is +36. Add down the column, I get +36. 36 times -3 is -108. Add down the column, I get -120. Now, how do I read my answer here? Well, because I've divided 9x cubed by x plus 3, my first term is going to be 9x squared. So I have 9x squared minus 12x plus 36, and my remainder is minus 120 over x plus 3. So there's a great quick example of synthetic division for you. If you want to see this done with a non-monic binomial, we can go ahead and do that. If you're set with the monic binomials only, and that's all you need to know, you can stop watching here, but we are going to scroll on and do another division problem. Okay, so in this part of the video, we're going to look at dividing by a non-monic binomial. And before we get started with this, I just want to point out that what we're going to do here is division in 2 steps. So if you can think back to when you first learned long division, we're going to think of a similar problem. I want you to think about dividing 154 by 14. And you may think, well, I don't really want to write that down. You may think, oh, right away, I know that's 11. Well, good for you if you recognize that right away. But let's look at a different approach we could take. I could think to myself, boy, this is the same as doing 154 divided by 2, and then divided again by 7, because 2 times 7 is 14. So if I divide 154 by 2, I'm going to get 77. Then when I divide by 7, I'm going to get 11. So this is some of those mental math strategies that you may have used just to make working with division a little bit easier. We're going to use the same strategy here. So what I'm going to do is start by rewriting this non-monic binomial as a product of a constant and a monic binomial. So I'm just going to erase my work right here and get started with that. So I'm going to conceive of this as not 2x plus 1, but I'm going to say it is 2 times the quantity x plus 1/2. And here is the monic binomial I'm first going to use in my synthetic division. Then when I get all my coefficients, I just need to divide them all by 2, just like I did with that 154 divided by 14. So using my same strategy from earlier, I'm going to say, well, if x plus 1/2 equals 0, x is negative 1/2. Okay, now I've made this kind of a nice problem, make it easier for you to deal with by having some numbers that will work pretty well with this negative 1/2, and that just makes our lives a little bit easier in this example problem. I'm going to set it up the same way that I normally would. And I have 4 getting brought down. Multiply that by negative 1/2. That's going to give me negative 2. 6 minus 2 is 4. And then multiplied by negative 1/2, again, gives me negative 2. Negative 6 plus negative 2 is negative 8. Negative 8 times negative 1/2 is positive 4. And negative 4 plus positive 4 is 0. So awesome. This has a remainder of 0. Now, you'll notice here that I have 4, 4, 8. Well, this is really saying that my answer 4x squared plus 4x minus 8 is what I get when I divide it not by 2x plus 1, but by x plus 1/2. So to get my final answer, I have to divide all of these by 2, and that's going to give me 2x squared plus 4x minus, 2x squared plus 2x. Let's fix that. Even Lola the dog is upset with this math error, and I get my final answer, 2x squared plus 2x minus 4 for my quotient. I hope this has been a helpful introduction to synthetic division.